Father Martin Day. I'm the Minister Provincial for Our Lady of Consolation Province. Relatively new, a few months into the job, but I got a few things to say about synodality, though. It feels really familiar because just the nature of our community is, well, we don't use the word synodal, but it is. Francis, his first few years, he was by himself, but then people started gravitating toward him, and the next thing you know, he was commenting in his testament that the Lord had given him brothers, and so that's a very synodal reality, to be brothers in an effort. And that shows itself when they first go to Rome to talk with the Pope, because it wasn't Francis that went to the Pope and said, I have a rule I'd like for you to approve. It was Francis and the brothers all together that went. And so from the very beginning, they were involved in this fraternal discernment about what God had called them to do. And that went on then for several years. The earlier rule, as we call it, was presented to the friars in 1221. So between 1209 and 1221, there was this long period of trying it out for size and giving it the depth of a lived experience. And those are all synodal qualities, I think. So that's, in one sense, for us, it's like, wow, they get it. They get what we've been after all these years. So that's very affirming. Well, one of the things that you find in the church documents a lot is just the idea of the gift that we have received and the responsibility that we have of sharing that gift with the world. I think that's really the basis for the whole process that John Paul II had in mind when he talked about the new evangelization. But the gift is also a gift for the church. And I think that's what the synodal process is really looking at now, is like this gift of real life experience that takes the doctrine and lives with it, and then responds to the church's magisterium about how that plays out. It's not been a big part of the process up till now, but now it's like, okay, we're listening. How does this work? What needs to change? What kind of experience do you have to share with us about these doctrines that you're trying to be faithful to? And so that's I see a great parallel between what went on in those early days with Francis and his brothers and what's going on in the church today. Well, I think we're all pretty excited about it, for one thing. But then the other side of it, though, is it's like, oh, we better get our act together, because we're the ones that have been saying like this. Well, yeah, this is great. This is what we've been doing all along. But then when we look at our lived experience, maybe there's areas where it's not really playing out like it ought to. And so then we have to look at that and say, is there something that we need to be doing then that would be more synodal in our approach? One of the things that I think we've come to terms with lately is, we have a great opportunity to live in an intercultural and multi-generational fraternity, which is, I think, in one sense, is what everybody's being confronted with. And so that's something that we can offer for the church at large. Well, people are anxious to know. That's one of the things that, when trying to put our finger on what's the difference between friars that are ministering in a parish, for example, and others, is that, well, the people are interested in knowing how it works for us, because ultimately it is a lived experience, and that's what they're confronting, is their lived experience. And so they're anxious to hear, how do you guys do that? It's not going to be a direct comparison, but it does provide some opportunity for reflection for them and for us. It becomes this synodal moment, I guess you could say.